everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Today, I want to talk to you about this word failure. I was just thinking about it and I just felt that this word failure, some people feel completely drained when they face challenges, when they are going through failures. But there is another set of people who they feel more charged to do whatever they were doing. So I just wanted to understand why this failure, why some people are unable to understand the beauty of failure. One of my quotes is God cannot be everywhere. That's why he created failures. By that quote, I simply mean that obviously God cannot come and spoon feed you. Hey, you're going wrong here, you're going wrong there, move left, move right. He cannot do that because there's so many people out there. So he's put his blessings in the form of failures and challenges. So whenever the challenge comes, it is nothing but God's voice telling you that there is something better you can do to tackle this, to handle what you are doing. So do when you are doing something and you fail, you face rejections, you face challenges. It is simply God's blessings, which is trying to tell you you can do it in a much, much better way. So I personally take my failures as God's blessings because today, whatever I am, whatever I am doing is only and only because of my failures. If I had not faced the failures in my life, I would have been a totally different person. Important it is to connect with ourselves and listen to our inner voice. I always wanted to talk about this, and I was thinking of. In fact, I had written an article about it, but I couldn't post it, and so I thought I'll talk to you about the inner voice. So God has given us this amazing tool, which is called our inner voice, which connects us with our soul, with our inner self, and we all have some purpose in life, but we keep uh, working and we keep looking at the world outside us, seeking validation from the world outside us, and we never try to look inside us, never try to find who we are. We try to define ourselves as who we are supposed to be as per other people, how we should look, how we should behave, how should we should dress up, but we don't want to understand that how exactly we are in real. And let me tell you, the way we are, somehow I feel that the things that I'm doing now are the things, are exactly the same things I used to do in my childhood. And I was fascinated by leaders' journeys, and I always used to sit in front of the mirror and talk to the leaders, these imaginary leaders, trying to know their journey. I used to sit in front of the mirror for hours, and I used to talk to these leaders to know how did they achieve it. And I was a very, very young child that time. Maybe I was 3 years old. I could not even talk properly, I remember. And since 3 to 4 years old, when I couldn't even talk, when I was not even having enough words, I used to sit in front of mirror and talk for hours, interviewing these leaders, trying to know how they think. And today, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I think the first thing that we should, I know history is important, geography is important, everything is important, but we should not ignore knowing our own selves. We are putting in so much money and effort in knowing all the things about the world to get a great job, but how much effort we are putting in to know ourselves, because the moment we start to know ourselves, our life will completely change. It will completely transform our life. And how do you know yourself? By listening to your inner voice. I always feel that as a child I could not listen to I mean, I had an inner voice, but it was overpowered by all the noises around me. So I knew that my inner voice was saying something else, but I had to listen to the voices around me. And now when I have grown up and I think about those inner voices, I realize that there is this voice who is constantly telling us who we are and what we want to do in life, but we keep neglecting it. We keep neglecting it. We keep ignoring that inner voice till the time we feel completely burdened by living up to the expectation of the society. So there are only two ways that we get to know about our inner voice. One is through natural, when we are totally aware of our inner voice. Since childhood, we know there is this inner self which we need to connect to, and that is a very, very beautiful way of knowing yourself, if you are aware of yourself since your childhood. But there is another way of knowing yourself is through pain. When you go through a lot of pain in your life, a lot of setbacks in your life, and when you feel that, okay, now i have I have done everything to get validation, to get to fit into the society, and still I have failed. Now I don't know where to go. When you have nowhere to go, then the last option is you connect with yourself. You start connecting with yourself to get the answers, because now nobody has any answer, because you have done everything to impress the world, to fit into this world. But now that you have failed, you don't know where to go. You connect with your inner self. That's why we say that people go through extreme failures, their lives transforms. Why? Because when they go through extreme failures and they don't know what to do, who to talk to, where to connect, they end up connecting with their own selves. They start unknowingly talking to their inner voices to know what next. How can I tackle this problem? How can I get better? And that's how their beautiful journey of connecting with their inner self starts. And that's when the transformation begins. That's something that happened with me. All my childhood I was completely ignoring my inner voice. I followed the normal path set by the society, set by the people around me. But there came a time in my life when I felt that whatever I was supposed to do, I did everything that people thought I should be doing. And then after doing everything, I realized that after doing everything that society told me to do, that society expected me to do, I don't feel happy. I don't feel, I don't get that satisfaction out of that kind of life. And I was like, why? So I didn't give much thought to it. I just took a break. And it's during that time that's when I now realize that I had a lot of conversation with my inner self. And that's how I discovered my inner voice. I started listening to my inner voice. I started connecting with my own self. And now when I look back, I realize my connection with myself is far more bigger than any degree on earth. We always feel that we'll go to Harvard, we should go to this, that, IIT, IIM. Everything is important. But the biggest achievement, the biggest, most beautiful thing in life is connecting with your own self. Knowing your own self is the biggest knowledge that one can have. Because when you're doing some work and you know what you are, who you are, what gives you happiness, you will be able to do it with more energy. You will be able to do better in that field. And I realized I like, because I have been through a lot of failures and because I had lost my inner voice from childhood till now, I made sure that I'm going to empower people. I'll help people to find their own inner voices and connect with themselves. And I started this initiative, Filling It Up, to help people understand that these leaders have been led by their inner voices. It's not about the degrees you have, it's about what you do with who you are. It's about finding yourself. So, no matter what degrees we have, which college we went through, the most important thing is who we are. The day we find who we are, it is like the most amazing experience in our life. And it doesn't happen in one day. It doesn't happen with having one dialogue with yourself and, okay, you know now who you are. It is a constant conversation with yourself, with your inner voice. I feel that I do a lot of household work on my own. As I had written in one of my blogs, I like to clean my utensils and cook and clean my home on my own. And I prefer doing a lot of work at home because it gives me that time to listen to my inner voice. So when I'm cleaning my house, when I'm cooking, I'm not over the phone, I'm not watching TV, I'm not with my friends, I'm disconnected with the world, and I'm not disturbed by anybody in my family as well, because they know I am working in kitchen. So during when I'm doing my household work, that is the best meditation for me, because that is the time when I get to connect with my own self. And so to find some activity helps you disconnect with the world, and it connects you with your own self. That's why I think artists have this amazing thing of connecting with their own selves and express themselves. So follow some passion, follow some maybe you can exercise, you can go to gym, or you can do some painting, and whatever activity you like to do, try doing that, which disconnects you with all the gadgets, all the work, and you're completely on your own. When you're on your own, this is a most beautiful feeling. You can you completely talk to yourself on a totally different level. And I feel that this self isolation time is the best time to connect with your inner self, because you are actually technically disconnected with the outer world. You cannot go out, you cannot be distracted by shopping, malls, movies, friends, going to work. So you have a lot of time right now. So I think that's why in one of my articles also I wrote that now is the time to connect with your own self. I always feel that we have to understand uh, that our inner voice has a power to guide us in the most amazing way, in most amazing ways. And the day I found my own inner voice, my life completely changed. I never knew there is this person inside me guiding me all through my life. And when I went through a lot of failures and a lot of challenges in my life, and I connected with I disconnected with the outer world. I took a break from my job. I was a stay at home mom for a long time. That's when I realized, and that's when I got the chance to connect with my inner voice. You guys should use this quarantine time, this self isolation time, to listen to your inner voice, to connect with your own self, and to help your inner voice guide you in taking important decisions of your life. So I'm ending up this video with this exercise for all of you, to listen to your inner voice. And it will not come naturally in the beginning, it will take some time, but definitely pay attention to your inner voice. There is this some feeling that you'll get inside, no, don't do it, this is not right. Yes, you must do it, this is the best thing for you. And you yourself are confused, and gradually you will get to know which is your which one is your inner voice. It takes practice, like you are skipping rope. It takes practice, it doesn't come in one day. Similarly, listening to your inner voice, just try to practice listening to your inner voice, and follow your inner voice, because your inner voice is your biggest mentor. I personally feel that our inner voice is God's voice.